the back here, a wee bit frosty, it's been a cold morning. We've got diesel tank, so diesel just goes into here, and there's no return to this tank, so this bit here is just blanked off, but this is where the fuel goes out, and it just goes basically into a hole down there, and then gets pulled all the way to the front under the car. And here we've got the bits and bobs under the engine bay. So this tube here is the diesel tube that brings the diesel up, and then we've got an inline filter here just to filter out any of the rubbish, and it comes up to a valve here. When we're running on diesel, it comes into this valve and goes round this way down this pipe here, and this pipe goes into the injection pump, which is down in there, and then it comes out the injection pump and it comes along this tube, and when it's running on diesel it just loops round and comes back round, so you're not just returning diesel back to the main tank. When we're running on vegetable oil, the vegetable oil comes up this pipe here, and then it goes into the heat exchanger, and we've got our coolant lines on the heat exchanger there, and then that goes from there into your fuel filter, and then your fuel filter, the fuel comes out, clean fuel, into this valve. When you switch over, instead of going the diesel coming up here, you now switch to vegetable oil, that comes up into our injection pump. Once we come out of our injection pump, rather than going here, we switch this valve over and it returns back to along here, back down here, and down there back to the vegetable oil tank. So when it's actually running on vegetable oil, it's returning the fuel to the tank. It's only when it's running on diesel that it loops here. This is underneath the truck, and you can see basically the fuel lines just going into the tank up there. I've put in thicker bore, put in 12mm bore lines, and they're insulated and run all the way down the length of the truck. Okay, our little switch over valve, our little switch in the cab is this thing here. Now it's got three positions. This is the middle position here, and when we're running on that, that means we're running on diesel. When we flick it down to the bottom position, that's us running on vegetable oil, and if we go back up to diesel and then we can go up one more, that takes us onto purge mode, and I'll just go and talk a little bit about that in the engine bay. Okay, when we're running in purge mode, what happens is your diesel comes in here, goes into this valve and comes round, and then goes into the injection pump, and it comes out of the injection pump, and normally when we're just running on diesel it comes up to here and runs round, but when we're on purge we want to take out the vegetable oil and push it out from the injection pump in the engine. So what we do in that case is this valve, instead of sending the diesel fuel down here, or the fuel that's coming out of the injection pump down here, it pushes it down and then back down into the vegetable oil tank. So what that does is it purges any vegetable oil that's in your injection pump and in your engine and pushes it back, and it should leave these lines full and the injection pump and tank, and engine full of diesel. And you jerk it out.